Welcome back to Unraveling the Brain. I am your host, Dr. Josh Madsen. Today, we got a really special one. I'm actually not doing the interview. Mr. Kyle, my videographer, is doing the interview because I was out of town. And this interview is with a mother named Pam and her son who had a diagnosis of autism. And they were here for their first intensive to work on motor development aspects in April. After that first intensive, he was way calmer, fight or flight responses decreased dramatically, posture change, movement change, but really cool. His reading improved by like 50% according to his teachers, and his math improved by like 25%, which is absolutely awesome. I wanted to share the whole interview with you guys, and she gives great insights into, how the process works, number one, but then number two is gives great advice to parents that are maybe going along this journey and searching for some of those answers as well. So hope you guys enjoy it. Let's jump into the podcast.
Welcome back to Unraveling the Brain with Dr. Josh Madsen. I'm Kyle, the video director here at Infinity. Today we're sitting down with a parent to learn just a wonderful story about their whole journey here at Infinity. So let's jump on into it. Would you tell us who you are and what brought you here?
Hi, I'm Pam. I'm here because my son, William, who is 7, he's autistic. We have been seeing a speech language pathologist, OTs, PTs. He's a chiropractor. I've been reading more and more about primitive reflexes, came across Dr. Madsen's book and then his Instagram, account. And so I thought this is what's missing in our repertoire. We have not focused on primitive reflexes. So that's what brought us to the clinic. We were here in April for a 2-week intensive, and then we were back here this week for a week intensive as a follow-up.
So how did you stumble upon us? Did you search out specific things, or tell us about the journey that led you here to discovering Infinity, and then what about that you saw made you think that this could be the right fit for your family?
Yeah, so I, on Instagram, follow a lot of accounts in the autistic community. And I'm also looking at this from the perspective of what else is there other than your traditional therapies for autism, right? Which we've done all of them. And a big focus for our son, he has a lot of gut gastrointestinal issues. He's had them since he was born. And so we've been really focused on the gut-brain connection, and primitive reflexes is an area for my research and reading that we thought would really help him there. Also, all the work that you all do in the clinic with lasers, that really helps with the gut-brain connection. And we've also worked with a functional integrative medicine doctor. You also have that as part of your clinic here. And so we were really interested in a holistic approach focused on the primitive reflexes, the laser work, as well as the functional integrative medicine. And I came across the account on Instagram, and then I went to read the book, Dr. Madsen's book, because I thought, let me see if this is just an Instagram account or if there's more to this. And so I read the book, and then I read more about primitive reflexes, and so that's what brought us here.
So you said that you were here in April. So what did that first week look like going into this completely fresh versus what are some of the strides that you'd seen at home in between sessions, and what does this session this week here in August look like?
Yeah, so the first week, I had seen a lot of videos from the clinic on your Instagram account, so I kind of knew what to expect, but not necessarily, right? So William tested positive for all of the main 5 primitive reflexes. They were all retained, and then some of the minor ones. So the main focus was to see if we could integrate those reflexes, right? That first week, my husband and I were both here. I participated in the sessions initially, as did my husband, just to make sure that William was on track and following, and that we were seeing what these exercises look like, right? And so those first few days, just us getting used to the routine, William getting used to the routine. So we started with a 2-hour session in the morning is what we were doing. And then looking around and speaking with the therapists and the doctors here, I said, hey, he's doing great. Can we add more? And they said, we can do an hour in the afternoon. So we quickly added an hour in the afternoon, enough to give William a break during the day, but to continue keeping him engaged and for us to get the most out of our experience here. And so that first week was him getting used to the routine. There was some resistance from him, depending on the session, if he was overstimulated. But he quickly got into a routine, got really familiar with the doctors here. He had a different doctor in the afternoon. He was great. He's good with new people. He was great. So we saw he quickly became adjusted, and we all worked around the schedule that he needed.
Neat. Were there any particular therapies or modalities that seemed to really just connect and click and really help integrate some of those primitive reflexes in? And what were some of those changes that you noticed after that first session?
A lot, like I said, William has a lot of gut issues going on, right? And then the STNR reflex is one that is stubborn and is still sort of retains it. We have to really work hard on that. But a lot of focus on his core area, on his back, right, to strengthen the core. He also has low muscle tone, so that's another thing that we're working on. So just a little bit about William. He has, I would say, moderate needs. Sometimes they can be low support needs. Sometimes they can be high support needs, depending on the day and how it is. But he has more moderate needs, right? And so it's kind of hard to determine how well he's doing or what's improving, because he's conversational, and he's generally been thriving. But before we came here, he had gotten some test scores in reading and in math. And then when we got back home, he seemed to generally be doing well. One thing I noticed, and my husband and I noticed right away, is what I would say his shoulders, he seemed like he was always in fight or flight mode. It seemed like his entire body just relaxed. I know that sounds silly, but he just didn't seem as tense anymore. And you could tell that in his day-to-day activities. He just seemed much more relaxed and comfortable in his body. And then his speech has also improved, but like I said, that's also hard to tell what's causing that. But one thing that we noticed is that we were here, like I said, in April. Right before that, the school had done some testing. And then by the end of the year, the school did more testing. His reading scores improved by 50%, 50, and then his math scores improved by 25%. And so while I'm not sure, right, like what else, this is one of the main things we did. We continued to do it at home. So clearly there's a correlation there. And overall at school, they also reported just overall better, more focus. And at home, like I said, we've just seen him be more comfortable. So we thought, look, we're seeing really good improvement, and physically he's stronger, and he has more energy. And so those are the kinds of things that we were looking for. We continued with exercises at home. Not easy to be doing all the time. So sometimes we did them, sometimes we didn't. We did our best. And then so we're back here for a week intensive where he's similarly doing 2 hours in the morning and then 1 hour in the afternoon.
Okay, so it's the second round more just maintenance than trying to address anything specific?
So this round, a really, really intense focus on William's vagal tone. The vagus nerve is the nerve that connects sort of the gut brain, right, to continue stimulating that. We're working with Dr. Matt, as he just said, he's seeing that become, today's our last day. He saw a vast improvement, and it seems like the vagal tone and the vagus system is coming online, so to speak. And when that comes online, right, then we have a much better connection to gut brain, and we'll continue working on that at home. He sees a chiropractor at home once a week, and he works a lot on that. But if that's not online, what are we working on, so to speak, right? And so that's been a huge focus this week, working on William's gut, and with, I don't know how many lasers they've worked on with him, all sorts of lasers. William has a different name for all of them. And so, but as well as the other aspects, what I call the brain games, right? And then in the afternoon, they've been really focused on the core as well. He still has some minor the aspects of some of the reflexes still have they're stubborn. They've still, retained, also depending on the day. But again, continued improvement from where we were even on Monday to today, particularly with the things that they've been focused on.
Do you all have a home laser?
We don't have a home laser. We did not purchase one after our first round. We wanted to give it some thought. And so I think we're going to purchase one this round based on, again, we wanted to see what they were seeing this round a continued focus on some of the, we also did some testing, right? We did some of the testing, what we're seeing there, what his testing is showing, and also what the doctors are seeing. So we wanted to get some more feedback before which laser to purchase and what for, right? And so we were reticent. They're expensive. They're not cheap. They're expensive. So we were reticent, but I think we're going to purchase one of the lasers that the doctor has recommended, where they've seen the best results this week with William.
What, I know that there's the different wavelengths and colors and frequencies and such. Which one did
Dr.
you find?
Matt has recommended there's a one that has green and infrared, and so he said that would be the best combination for some of the needs that they're seeing for William, and the ones that they've worked with the most this week, where we're seeing positive results this week. We were, constipation has been a major issue for William. We're seeing great results with that this week. So we're very hopeful that will continue to help us at home as we continue working on these gut issues. And like I said, it's hard to tell with William because his needs are more mild to moderate now. But we have seen the test scores, just the body, the continued improvement in speech. He's more conversational. And while it's hard to pinpoint exactly, because we do a lot of therapies at home as well, this is one of the things that we have done and focused on this year that has made a difference this year.
Neat. You mentioned earlier, like, such a comfort in just like relaxed, just even in posture.
Yeah.
Has that translated to other social skills beyond home? Like, is there more of a comfort in the classroom and in more social settings?
Yeah, and I mean, I would say so. The social aspect is still a struggle for William, right? He's been at a camp this summer. It's a wonderful camp where his occupational therapy group runs it, and so he's doing a lot of social group work there as well, which is really helping with that. But overall, he's been doing great there this summer, and we've gotten really positive feedback from them about how well William is doing. And so in a smaller group setting, with other kiddos who maybe have similar needs as William, we're getting really positive feedback. And so that's really great to hear. And in a more social setting.
Wonderful. Oh. What's been the reaction when you leave here every day? What's his review of things been?
He's a creature of routine, and so he's like, I'm going to see Dr. Matt in the morning. I'm going to see Miss Christine in the afternoon.
Both wonderful.
Yeah, they've been great with him. He adores. I mean, he saw Dr. Tanner last time he was here. He sees him in the hallway. He's very excited to see him every time.
Me too. I get it.
Yeah, and so this doesn't. While some of the exercises, while he's doing them, he's like, this is really hard. I'm having a hard time. He really likes coming here, and it feels like fun for him while work. It feels like fun for him. And then, plus, I mean, he's used to therapies. And so his reaction is, I gotta go clock in. I gotta do my work. Maybe with a little bit of resistance, but we work around that. And he's generally excited to be here.
Good. We love to hear that.
Yeah, he's a happy kid. And I mean, from what I see here, all the kiddos seem like they're happy to be here and working really hard.
Well, it certainly goes both ways. I tell this story a lot, but when I first came here for my interview a little over a year ago, towards the end of my interview, they were walking me out, and I was going past one of the rooms that they were doing therapy in, and they were wrapping up, and they were saying, "Hey, I'm really proud of all the work that you did. That wonderful job today." And I thought, what a sweet thing for somebody to say. And then we got up to the front, and somebody else was saying goodbye to one of their friends and saying, "Oh, I'm so proud of all the work that you did. It's such a great job, and it was such a great time working with you today." And I thought, oh, that's just the standard here. That's
I totally agree with that. And even when William is having a hard time, or maybe he's not focusing, or he's saying, "Hey, this is too hard for me. I don't want to do this right now," just like all kids, don't want to do something at the time. I really like the balance between, I hear you, but we got to do this, right? But I understand, do you need a break? And so the very compassionate, but yet supporting and demanding at the same time, because kids can run away with negotiation. And particularly William, he'll negotiate his way out of anything. And so, especially if something feels hard. So I really, really appreciated the approach of being super understanding, really supportive, yet saying, we got to do this, bud. I hear you. We've taken our break, but we got to get back to work, which works really well for him. And knowing his schedule works really well for him. So Dr. Matt tells him exactly how they're doing the exercises, when they're doing them. So he knows his schedule, his routine, and he can participate he feels very strongly about having that autonomy. And so if he wants to switch up the order, if Dr. Matt can accommodate him, he does. And so it's really, really great to see all the therapists who seem so supportive and sweet and kind to all of the children from what I've seen here.
Oh, absolutely. And just hearing things in the back, like they just love getting to work with and see the strides and see things go and see people push beyond like what they even think that they're even able to do, and just see that pride in their own eyes of like, oh yeah, I was able to do this.
Absolutely. And even when I at one point got a little frustrated that William maybe was not listening, Dr. Matt was like, it's fine. It's totally fine. Like, I got this. It's okay. And so very patient, very, very patient as well. And they see a lot of kids with a lot of varying needs. And like I said, William's needs are more mild, but nevertheless, it requires a lot of effort. And so, and Dr. Matt and Christine this week, and Taylor and Dr. Donovan have been really great. And like I said, last time I worked with Dr. Tanner, Dr. Ryan, who's no longer here, but whom we adored. And so everyone has been really great to work with.
Awesome. What would you say to any parent that has watched some of our videos, is on the fence, and just wondering if Infinity might be right for them?
I mean, I would say do your research about primitive reflexes. That's your primary focus here. Think about, and maybe test. It's very easy to test some of these reflexes at home, right? You can test them. Dr. Josh's book is really short. Read his book. I think I got it on Kindle Unlimited. It was available. And so read his book. Do your research about what primitive reflexes are. And if you're looking for an alternative approach to the, OT, PT, this might be that missing piece of the puzzle. The way I describe this to friends is it was like combined OT, PT, chiropractor, functional integrative medicine with brain games on steroids and lasers. That's how I've been describing it to friends.
It's very accurate. Yeah.
And family who have wanted to know what he was doing here. I've shown them some videos, and so that's the way I would describe it to parents. So if you want an intense focus on all of those different areas, and maybe there is something missing that you think your child is not getting in those other therapies, then this might be the right place for you. And so that's what I would say to parents. And like I said, it's William has more mild to moderate needs, so we weren't sure if maybe this was quite it, right? He's incredibly physically active, and he does really well. So I thought, oh, maybe he's already done PT, he's already done OT, he might not need that. It turned out that he had all of his reflexes retained, and he did need it. This time around, for example, we focused on like ocular and eye tracking. Like, he could not track your finger with it. He would move his head around. Well, that's clearly impacting his reading or his focus, right? So things like that you might not be thinking about.
The trickle down is just so interesting. Like, when you really see how connected everything is, and just the domino effect of like, there's very few isolated things when it comes to the human body. And I know some people might be thinking like, well, of course, but then when you really get into the minutia of it, it's just very eye-opening of, oh yeah, that does have such a profound effect on every other system, like all the way down.
Absolutely. And like I said, for us, it's not just one thing. We were also focusing a lot on doing some of the testing, right? Seeing like, what are the food sensitivities? So that aspect, we've been working with Dr. Ashley. We do have a functional integrative medicine doctor at home as well, but it's been helpful to also work with Dr. Ashley here and get her input, right? Sort of a second opinion for us. So that's been great as well, because our approach to all the therapies for William has been an East meets West approach. We have a holistic approach. We see a gastroenterologist, but we're also seeing a functional integrative medicine doctor, right? So because there's a lot to learn from all of the different areas. And here, like I said, this was what for us was missing in all of William's therapies, the primitive reflexes and the focus that you all have here on maybe combining all of those disciplines in one place in an intensive way.
It's very difficult to find a true one-stop shop, but we do have a lot of different perspectives and a lot of different philosophies and a lot of different things that go into everything that we do. So you do get a wealth of different perspectives in everything that we do here. That, Dr. Ashley doing everything that she is through her functional medicine program, Mr. Taylor doing everything he is through his vision therapy, and just all the different things that people bring to the table. We are very lucky enough to have such a diverse team with a diverse background of knowledge.
Yeah, and Christine she's a former occupational therapist, right? So she brings that perspective to the table. Dr. Matt, his background is a chiropractor, and so it's, again, really great. They've all gone through the training here, right? And so the school of training here, but it's great to see those backgrounds. And like I said, you can see all of those disciplines combined here from the different therapists. And it's been, for us, I think, really helpful. I have to say, we have continued working at home, right? So we have continued doing the exercises at home, which I think has been really important. So it's not like, okay, your kid's coming here, you're done, right? Like, that's it. So we have continued working at home. But William calls it, I have to do my exercises. And so we do them at home.
And that's all provided by, like, there's a lesson plan that's put together by the team?
We have the like the videos and the links on like the wall in the basement. And so we've purchased a few of the things that we needed on Amazon, right? Like a little bouncy ball. We already had a swing, but we've purchased a few of the things. I mean, our house looks a little bit like an occupational therapy center because of all of the things that we've purchased for William over time. But it's not that difficult to do some of these exercises at home with a willing child.
Yeah, I imagine.
The willing participant. So yeah, we've been able to integrate them. The videos are really helpful to do, and what to do at home.
Do we think we'll be seeing you again here?
We have to see because we spent 3 weeks in Iowa. We're from Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah, we spent.
Not too far, but a bit of a trek.
Not too far, yeah. But it's a bit of a trek, and it's a bit of a commitment for all of us to be here as a family. So we'll see how we're doing, and if we're seeing, more retained reflexes, or if they're continuing to be stubborn, we'll certainly come back. Or if we want to level up, right? We would consider coming back, but we are purchasing the laser. I think most likely I have to confer with my husband, but most likely, and so we'll definitely continue at home.
And that can be such an incredible home tool, and definitely something even for the whole family. I mean, the amount of settings that are on there. I mean,
and we had like a full tutorial meeting about that as well, to go over some of the testing results and why William would benefit from lasers. Again, we've been reticent but cautiously optimistic about everything. And I'm an attorney, so I'm someone who likes to read a lot by nature and research, and so we've looked into it, but we've also seen really positive results, and so that's
what I really appreciate about Dr. Lauren in particular. I mean, everybody here does their research, but he really gets into the nitty-gritty of everything, and we'll research everything. And
he met with us and went over the results from the NeuroZoomer test, and really explained to us the science behind it, and then also linked it to William's test results, right, specifically. And then this week, like I said, Dr. Matt has focused on specific types of lasers, seeing which ones are giving better results, and that's where the recommendation comes from. So it's not as though, oh, here's a laser, go get it. It's directly tied,
personalized,
to William's results, as well as what the people who are working with him are seeing, right? And that's why we also wanted to wait till the second round to see where we are getting the better results before making the purchase. But yeah, we're going to continue with that.
Absolutely. Is there anything else you'd like to share that you think would be helpful for people to know?
Yeah, I mean, look, this is a big commitment, right? It's a big life commitment. We're here with our daughter, who runs around and going to every park, and my husband and me, and so it's a big commitment. And I get it when parents are like, oh gosh, one more thing, right? Like one more thing, and of course insurance doesn't cover it, right? It's that kind of a thing, and so I understand why people are hesitant, but for us, it has been really beneficial, and for William, obviously, and for a child like William, and different kids have different needs, right? For a child like William, like I said, who has more mild to moderate needs, it's really hard to determine what is the right thing, what else can we do to help him, support him. And for us, this seems like it has been really, really beneficial this year to add to his tool of therapies. And we've seen really positive results. So if you're looking for something else, something a little different that you haven't tried before, this might be the right therapy for your child.
Well, thanks so much for sharing your story with us and sharing all of your thoughts and feelings on things here in Infinity. And we really appreciate you coming in, and we hope that we do get to see more of you.
Really nice talking to you, Kyle, as well.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.